Happy Halloween! Welcome to Screen Junkies Universe. We're in the spirit, right, Dan Murrell?
Oh yeah.
What are you carving over there?
I didn't know we were doing this.
Sure.
And I have no aptitude for it.
Great.
So I'm going to attempt a classic. I call it a carpenter.
Yeah.
A classic pumpkin.
I'm very excited. I like the look of it. I like the look of what you've drawn
really
so
bad.
far.
Just get ready.
We're very much in the Halloween spirit here. I am dressed, as you can see quite clearly, as a pumpkin spice latte. Whatever Billy says about that is inaccurate. Ed Greer, it's Wednesday. You're here with us on Halloween. Happy Halloween. It's so good to see you. I'm looking forward to your masterpiece as well.
I don't know that it'll be a masterpiece, but thank you very much for your hopes.
You know what? What I love about today, and we're expecting someone, a ghost, to arrive and join us, is that we've named a number of catchphrases, I think, for our show, Billy. I didn't know we were doing this, and I have no aptitude, and I'm not sure it's going to be a masterpiece. Don't you think that that's basically the subtitles for our show?
That was almost the title and thumbnail of today's episode.
Yes.
Just that whole thing. SEO be damned.
SEO CEO.
Top 10. I have no aptitude.
Oh, surprise guest
I
coming
see
up,
a
and then we're actually going to get into the movie news.
spooky-
Those of you who don't know us, and
Cool.
we're going to let go of the morning show shtick we have going on
Wow.
in just a few minutes.
Jeez.
Yay! Joe Starr.
Sorry I'm late. What are we talking about?
We are talking about, I'm just going to let it go. The Winter Solider Falcon on Disney streaming. Now, they are going all in on their God damn it. They're going
I'm trying to do this as quietly as I can.
Is that the knife you use?
I'm
Dan?
trying to play the game. I'm trying to do this quietly. It's impossible.
Where you got going? Are you just freehanding?
Like,
Yeah.
One of us is definitely going to die by the end of this show. And it wasn't even the knife. It was a combination of the knife and then looking over at Joe. Okay, get your stuff together, woman. Here we go. Winter Solider and Falcon on Disney streaming. They're going all in, you guys. They are spending the big butts, and they are determined to make this work. Falcon and Winter Solider are teaming up for a potential series. This is via Variety. Malcolm Spellman has been tapped to write the series. He is the person behind Empire, and he wrote the screenplay for the feature film Our Family Wedding, so that's pretty cool. This comes after the news, of course, we talked about before, the Loki Scarlet Witch series, which, according to Slash Film, Paul Bettany's vision is now going to join. Weigh in with thoughts, Joe Starr. I only want your most serious thoughts.
Well, sure. This reminds me, first of all, of like old school Marvel team-up comics, which is cool. Sort of fun, like old school 70s and 80s, just weird Marvel team-ups. I think, you know, if these guys aren't guys that are gonna get their own A movies. I don't think the Sebastian Stan staying power is so strong that he'll be the new Captain America. Like, people love him, but I don't think that.
You don't think there's enough Sebastian Stan stands?
Yeah, I don't think the Stan standing is strong enough for him to really sort of be the guy that takes the cheese for the new Captain America movies.
Oh boy.
But I think sort of like the friends of Captain America, I think will really work really well as a show.
I would have put him as the odds-on favorite.
You think
Honestly.
so?
Really?
Yeah.
You think the love is that strong?
Wouldn't you? Actually, these two I would put on
Me
as
too.
the
I
odds-on
would-
favorites.
I would say
So
Falcon.
Does that now make me rethink what I was thinking earlier? Maybe a little bit.
It makes me think that Disney's counting on the people that are committed to the MCU and any potential tie-ins that they might do to the MCU to come over and purchase their streaming service, because obviously they're going to have continuity. And I don't think it precludes the idea that either Falcon or Winter Soldier could become Captain America. Now, if forced to choose which one, Dan, which one?
To become Captain America?
Yeah.
Like, if I was going to pick one of them to be
You have to
Captain
pick
America,
one.
I would pick probably Bucky.
Nope.
Just because I feel like it would be the close of his arc.
Yeah.
From brainwash to Captain.
Yeah. And I don't want to come off as like a huge like pest and say that like he's not like that his arc hasn't earned it or like he's not a good actor or something like that. I just wonder if he has like the star power of a Chris Evans to really kind of, like to take up the shield. Like if he has like the box office power in himself. Like as a character, it totally makes sense. But I just wonder if he has the box office power to lead a Captain America movie.
Hey, Joe, the chat is asking, what exactly are you? Because it's either Eeyore or a rat.
But I think we shouldn't address it. Do you think we should leave it
Oh,
a
I'm
mystery?
in a velour mouse onesie.
Okay.
His little mouse. His little baby mouse. Ed Greer, are you more or less likely to subscribe to the streaming service? And do you more or less want to snuggle Joe now or on an ordinary day?
I don't normally cozy up to vermin.
Okay.
So
Sure.
that's not really.
So you want to cuddle him more today?
Well, I want to cuddle Joe Starr at all times. The chat knows. The chat has talked about our bromance many times.
That's right. That's right.
But as far as the streaming service, again, I said it before, I said it again. Marvel is saying, I'm about to make my own brick and mortar chicken restaurant. You know what I mean? That's what they're saying. I was subletting my chicken to other people, and they were making hella money. Now, I will make my own chicken. And they're frying it in canola oil with the real stars from the movies.
Ooh.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
11 herbs and spices.
Dude, it's spicy. So I do really think that they're giving it their best go. And I do think it's wrong-headed for anybody to technically replace Captain America. I think they should do something to where he like dies or goes back in time or some crap, and then they recast him later. I think they should do something like that. And
But
the
it's in the
void of
comics
Cap.
for either Falcon or Bucky.
I know, but I don't think there's been enough. In the comics, there's so much real estate. You know what I mean? There's so much story.
I can't even look at any of you right now.
He's like looking at me so seriously with this mouse onesie on.
I just want to know how his cats reacted. We'll get back to that. Please, Ed, go
well,
ahead.
I'm just saying that there's so much more comic book real estate. I mean, Falcon's been a character since the 60s. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And Bucky's been a character since before that. So I think the movies haven't quite earned for somebody to take the place of Cap yet. That's my opinion. I don't know.
Okay. You guys let us know in the comments what you think. Who's going to have the bestest, most superior Chris Pumpkin today? Will it be Dan? Will it be Ed?
Oh, it'll definitely be Ed. The audience can't see the other side of this thing, but I can, and I'm telling you right now, it's going to be Ed.
Ed didn't even pre-sketch.
I did with a little blue line pencil for those
Oh,
comic
okay, my
pros
apologies.
out there.
So, speaking of superheroes in questionable states of reality, Henry Cavill, will he be Superman? Will he be not? I don't know. But he's definitely going to be in the Witcher series for Netflix, which gave us our first look of his character today. Now, Joe Starr,
Looks like Academy Award cinematographer Claudio Miranda.
So this is an 8-episode drama based on the best-selling book series, which reportedly Henry Cavill is a really big fan of, and he plays. And I don't know the series at all, so if I'm mispronouncing this name, someone correct me. Geralt of Rivia, who's a solitary monster hunter who struggles to find his place in the world where people often prove more wicked than beasts. Ain't the truth? But when destiny hurdles him towards a powerful sorceress and a young princess with dangerous secret, the three must learn to navigate the increasingly volatile continent together. Cool. This is a return to television after The Tudors.
It's very John Oliver. Cool.
I first discovered Henry Cavill in The Tudors. First of all, what do we? And you're not going to like this thread, I don't think, Dan. But I do want to talk about the wig and what we think of the wig.
It's ratty looking, Roth. It's he looks like Daenerys's. He looks like he's cosplaying Daenerys's brother from Game of Thrones.
Yes, Varys.
Like,
no, not Varys.
Viserys.
Viserys. Pardon
Yeah.
me.
It's
Forgive me.
They're
Forgive
all
me.
Varys,
Varys
Venus,
is
It looks like
it's
looks
ridiculous at this point.
Well, he looks like Legolas worked out a lot,
Yeah.
like all day.
It
and
looks
all
like
night
Highlander,
forever.
Orlando
right?
Bluff.
Doesn't it look like Highlander?
Like Sean Connery from Highlander.
A little bit, yeah. He was born to be a king.
I'm from Spain. I'm a Spanish man.
I'm the most Spaniard man you've ever met.
Yeah.
Hollywood has a wig problem, you guys, that really,
It really
needs
does.
addressing.
It
No,
really
for
does.
real.
I chopped off a man's head in Ibiza. Anyway,
I think we have a deficit of Game of Thrones aside. I think we have a deficit of good fantasy programming, which seems like it's about to really change with the properties that everybody's snatching up
Do you
to
know
make
this
series out
novel
of.
series? Have you read it?
Witcher?
Yeah,
The books?
the books.
No, I have not read the Witcher books. I've played the game a little bit. I think it's open world enough that it doesn't just have to be like like a bingo, like most video game things. It's like, okay, here's our bingo card of stuff from the games that we need. And my usual complaint about a video game, like, why would you want an Uncharted game? Why did I pronounce it like that?
Uncharted.
Why would you?
Uncharted.
I say!
You're very posh, little mouse, aren't you?
Why would you like an Uncharted game when it is in itself a full narrative? You've experienced the story. Why would you want to watch it again? But Witcher is an open world enough game that maybe it escapes that sort of trap and criticism. So yeah, I think this could be cool. I thought I became a huge fan of Cavill and the Tudors. I thought he was great on that show, which is why I was sort of rooting for him for Superman. Yeah.
I didn't know if there were feet.
No feet. Just shoes. Well, I mean, I don't want to walk around this place barefoot. That'd be weird.
It'd be unsanitary.
That would be absolutely unsanitary.
It'd be a workplace code violation.
Yeah, exactly. I think this could be good. I'm hungry for more fantasy stuff. I'm excited that Wheel of Time is getting adapted. I'm excited that His Dark Materials is coming.
Yes.
It's like every fantasy series seems to be getting snatched up right now, so everyone can compete with the giant Lord of the Rings
out
show.
there.
So yeah,
I love His Dark Materials so much.
it'd be great if there was a Mouse Guard series or a Redwall series. Those are both great fantasy series too.
Mouse Guard.
I'm biased.
I second that. Mouse Guard, like for real. No
Mouse
joke.
Guard is dope. If
Mouse
you've
Guard
never
is real
read,
sick.
the Mouse Guard comic,
Have you ever
it's
seen
pretty
a
sweet.
mouse fight like a snake, but the mouse has like a sword?
Yeah, Mouse
That's
Guard.
great fantasy stuff.
Is that a thing that happens?
Yeah,
in the wild?
It's great. It's like
Yes, Dan.
I've seen 2 series
Notably.
of Planet Earth, and I did
Yeah.
not see that on either of them.
you
Notably.
can see the part where like the mouse draws its
Although,
longsword.
I did see a video of a Ricky Tikki Tavi. What is he?
Mongoose.
He's a mongoose. Thank
He's a
you.
mongoose.
Of a mongoose attacking a lion the other day, and it didn't just attack it once; it like chased it down. Did you see the
Yes,
video of the
that's pretty
mongoose
amazing.
attacking?
Go for it.
That said, what I'm excited for is Henry Cavill being a part of something he very clearly wants to be a part of. I feel like the Superman experience it for him. I think he was so excited and so committed to being that character. It was very fraught.
Yeah.
So that he loves this and he's a part of it is very cool. I just want better wigs for the people that I love, Dan.
Well, it's early.
I want the best wigs
early
possible.
wigs.
It was just cast like 2 or 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Maybe it's
It's like
maybe it's just a
costume
maybe it's just a costume test.
Yeah,
it
is that
looks
an
like a
official-
camera test.
It does
to
look
me.
like a
It is,
camera
it is.
test.
I
yeah.
believe it is.
Are we saying the
So-
wig effects are not completed yet?
I'm
Okay.
saying that
Is that the
perhaps
excuse we're making
Netflix
for
should
this?
not have released it quite so early. That's my contention. Do we have
So
a paper towel or anything?
no.
No. Okay.
Where do you think we were, man?
I don't know.
You forgot where we are.
So we're good on that. So here's another thing that this fascinates me on a number of levels, and I'm curious what you guys are going to make of it. So I don't know if you saw this, but fans basically paid for a billboard to support James Gunn near Disneyland. There was a GoFundMe campaign that raised $5,000 since launching last month, and they created a billboard which reads, well, you can read it, "Save the Galaxy, James Gunn for Volume 3 to rehire him." And it leads to that website. Here's a quote. This is all via The Hollywood Reporter, by the way. We really love Gunn as both a creator and the man we've seen him mature into. Even if this wasn't going to cause Disney to see their mistake, we could at least show James Gunn how much support he has in his corner of the galaxy. This comes from, I assume, Batista, but I think it's Giuseppe Ciancinato, a 29-year-old Ohio chef who actually said that. And okay, Giuseppe Batista.
It's an anagram. It's like a really clean anagram. I'm pretty sure.
I think it's very fascinating on a number of levels, but I'm curious what you think of it, Dan.
Well, billboards only move so fast, and that's the problem. Is this was resolved before the billboard went up.
Yeah.
Secondly,
They were very frustrated when he went over to Suicide Squad.
Secondly, I do believe that this person who spearheaded it was not from California, because they would know if they were from California that the least likely place for any Disney executive to see a billboard is Disneyland.
Burbank is where you want to
Burbank
be.
is where you want to go.
Yeah.
If
Glendale.
Yeah, Glendale, Burbank.
If you really want to get a mouse's attention, it's Burbank.
Yeah, I mean, I get it, but at the same time, it's the die has been cast. He has moved on to another team of misfits.
Pumpkin's looking good.
How screwed up would it be if Disney just sued them for using the Guardians of the Galaxy font and like title design?
That would be amazing.
I wouldn't put it past them.
That would be what's that? Expert level, elite level pettiness.
Yes.
Yeah.
100%.
I think, and this wasn't me being dismissive of it at all, because I think it's really nice when people care that much about, frankly, anything and have feelings, and then invest in expressing them, especially in a show of love and support for someone. But I think to Dan's point, the too bad part of it is the timing, which is by the time they're able to actually get it up, it's kind of a done deal, and he's over with Warner Brothers.
Accompli.
It's a fait accompli. What do you think there, Billy Business?
I mean, if you read the article, which I suggest everyone go read that article, because unlike other fans that make protests and demands, this group actually seems like they have a level head about it. Like, we know this probably won't work, but we just want to show James that we care, which was actually like a very level-headed statement, paired with maybe not the most level-headed thing to do, spend $4,000 on a billboard, but they at least know that they're not going to storm the gates and demand
it seems
a cut of something.
It seems like a more fiscally responsible fan project than remake The Last Jedi, which I can't remember how much money they were going to make to remake.
Well, they were going to raise like
$100
$100 million.
Yeah, it was going to be a very expensive film.
You know what would have been more effective? If they'd had the Grinch saying rehire James Gunn. And then, now we're talking.
What would the Grinch say about that billboard, Joe?
I hate him so much. I hate the
I just
Grinch.
wanted to see Joe angry in a mouse costume.
Ed, have you seen the Grinch billboards?
I haven't. Well, I mean, I probably have, but I didn't pay attention to them. What do they look like?
Awful! They look awful, Ed!
They're green.
But wait, is this a reboot of the whole Steal Christmas concept?
It's just a remake. It's just another remake.
It's just another version of the tale.
Why don't you steal other holidays? You know, steal
That's
Kwanzaa.
a good other idea.
That'd be great. Get some multicultural Who's in there.
Tyler Perry's
How the Grinch Stole Hanukkah.
I want to see the brown Who's.
You want to see Tyler Perry's How the Grinch Stole Kwanzaa?
Well, not quite how Tyler Perry, but you know, maybe.
No, you want to see a Medea Grinch.
Well,
Yeah, you do. You do.
I want to see Medea versus Grinch.
Yeah, that's a team
like
up.
a Pixar short. That's
Yeah.
Medea versus Grinch.
I feel like you could potentially get super offensive the more you start to get into some of the other holidays. Like if the Grinch stole Easter and like he was the one that removed the body from the tomb, like I feel like this would start to really
Well, you're
get...
going more the egg route, Billy. I mean, the Grinch did not steal non-secular Christmas. He stole Christmas ornaments.
the first
he didn't
Grinch.
take the nativity
That's
scene.
how you reboot How the Grinch Stole Christmas.
Although
you have to
I
go
do-
back in time, take the wise men's gifts from them.
Although I do
I mean,
like...
that's a different approach.
I do like one of these billboards that's like, sorry, no room in this inn.
These are better reboots than we were suggesting yesterday, if I'm honest. Why isn't he stealing other holidays?
He's just, well, because I think the Who's mainly just celebrate Christmas.
You'd have to also regress his character growth at that point. Because he's now his heart literally grew.
He didn't
So
learn.
it would have to shrink again.
It
in
would
order
be
to
frustrating
steal.
if, like, he was, like, good to go and his heart had grown 3 sizes too big, which is unhealthy.
Signs of a drug
by the way.
problem, by the way.
And then, like, he gets to Easter
Yeah.
or Halloween, and it's
I
just
can't
like,
look at your face.
and he just gets frustrated and mad again
I just
at
want
that
to.
holiday. They're fun, right? Yeah.
And we're going to be checking up on you in a minute. Are you feeling good?
Oh God.
I'm very confident with my pumpkin.
You
I
feel
think
good? I feel good about your
I
pumpkin.
think I'm good.
All right, let's start with Dan, and we'll take a look at his pumpkin. This is called the Classic. No, the Carpenter.
The Carpenter. I just went with the Halloween.
Oh, wow.
That's perfect.
Yeah.
Just a very Opening
very
credits of Halloween.
Yeah.
Classic
look very
pumpkin.
proportional.
Yeah, ish.
I mean, at least from camera, like those eyes are spaced apart correctly. The
Yes.
smile's got kind of a nice DreamWorks tilt to it, which I
Yeah.
like.
Yeah.
He also looks a little like the smile has a hint of whimsy. If
He knows
am
something.
I reading that right?
Yeah, he knows something.
Yeah.
He's got thoughts about the wig in The Witcher.
Yeah, no, and I think he's
a little lopsided, but that's okay.
No, I don't think he's lopsided so much as he's got a secret. Is
Yeah.
that right, Joe?
Yeah, I like
Would
that.
you say?
Yeah, he's a pumpkin with a secret.
Ed, are you
Just-
ready for us?
No,
are you ready
just
for
show
the
mine
judge?
later.
No, show it now, please. Turn it around.
I knew this would be the end of the show if we had to do something artistic on air. It's like, no, not quite ready.
You're not ready?
I'm almost done.
Okay, take your time.
It needs time to read.
Today, I'm going to suggest some other things for you to watch. We suggested some Halloween movies the other day that you should
Good.
watch. Billy didn't weigh in, though.
I'm going to see Halloween, the new Halloween movie tonight. I
Oh,
see one
sweet.
horror movie a year.
Uh-huh.
That's my deal with my wife. I will see one a year, so tonight's it.
Yeah, you hate horror movies,
I
right?
really do. I have a blanket at home. It's called my scaredy blanket. So when we watch
Really?
a scary movie at home, my wife, even in summer, she'll give me the scaredy blanket so I can just hide under
Let me
it.
tell you, Billy, as somebody
Uh-huh.
who was formerly also not a fan, through exposure therapy, I've come to appreciate them quite a bit. We're going to horror nights.
You just
tonight.
have to like numb yourself.
What?
Yeah.
Are you really
Yeah.
voluntarily going?
Yeah, this
Can
is
you
like our
take some
third year
footage?
going. No, it's just
Please?
for fun. We did that once.
Nothing's just for fun.
I was mocked and
Everything's for
ridiculed
my
on the internet
program.
for horror nights
Everything's for
once.
content, Dan.
I have actually grown quite fond of them.
I will not go to those.
They're a torturous experience. The movies can often be a torturous experience in the sense that I'm very tense, but I've come to appreciate the good ones. And horror nights I really enjoy now. I'm a huge scaredy cat. Mara will tell you she goes first through the mazes, unless she physically pushes me to go first through them. But it's fun. It's a good time.
Yeah,
That's
I've been through a horror maze with Dan, and it was fun.
Yeah.
It was very, very fun. And even when he is scared, it's very like, ha! That was awful.
I have an intense.
There's sometimes it gets a little more than that. Yeah.
That's really. I love horror movies, but I will not go to those mazes because I have an intense fear that I will just, out of pure instinct, punch someone in the face
Oh, didn't Billy do that?
and kick them
Yeah,
in the
Billy,
butt.
didn't
Did
you
you
do
do
that?
that?
I got kicked out of Halloween Horror Nights for kind of kangaroo punching.
Yeah.
This was like
Should have had your blanket.
10 years ago, but like the first couple ones, I was like, and then someone came at me. I was just like, bah! And I got him in the shoulder. But there's so much security there that they like pulled you out. They're like, you gotta go.
Hey man, you can't punch.
They were really nice to me though, because they could tell like I wasn't being an asshole. Like it was an accident.
It was too
they,
much.
They gave me a park ticket to go back like
that's
on a
nice.
normal day. but
Non-scary
they're-
day. Yeah.
They're like, you have to leave.
And then you like punch Homer Simpson in the face for some reason.
God damn it!
Punches the lady that does the wand experience.
And Mickey.
Looks like your wand has found you. Gah!
Every single princess.
I don't want to take it hard now.
That must happen a lot. Don't you
you know
think
what?
that must
I've
happen
seen
a
it
lot?
happen.
Emma
Yeah.
Fife works there, and she was telling us like it's a long day for those workers at those.
You get
They
punched.
have good
Yeah.
ones this year, though. They have a Stranger Things maze,
All
which
right.
I'm excited
Cool.
about. They have a Poltergeist maze.
Ooh,
They have
wow.
they do a Halloween maze. This year's Halloween 4. They have like a classic Universal Monsters maze and some other stuff. Blumhouse does a maze, I think, every year now. It's some fun stuff. Those mazes are so. Last year they had a Shining maze, and it was worth doing just for the design of it because it was like you're in the Overlook. And
That's
like
really
the hedge
cool.
maze and the room 237, like everything. It was so cool.
I
So,
would love every part of that except people physically come aggressing me.
You just walk through the mazes. empty.
Yeah, empty.
That in itself would be kind of a fun experience because like they really do put a lot into these things. It's fun. I enjoy it.
I don't want people physically aggressing me. Ed! Are you done?
No. When I went through that maze, also, the one cheat, all you scaredy cats and fat scaredy cats like me, who people think you're strong when you're fat, which is like a total misnomer. They think you're strong and brave sometimes. Like, no, I'm the opposite of that. So when I went to the horror thing, I just went with a group of people and kept with that group. So when Dan got the scare, I was like, that dude's around the corner. You know what I mean? So it was like a beta test. You know what I mean? And that's how you got to do it.
You're gonna be great in a gunfight, man.
Oh yeah, dude.
Hey, I'm just gonna
Dude, I'm in the rear with the gear.
It is true. We made our own Logan go through first and basically take all the torture so we would know where things were.
Wait, so is that how it works? You can just send someone through
I
and
mean,
then
well,
they can take the heat?
You're in like
clustered.
a cluster of like
Yeah.
3, so it's always
Okay.
the first person that's gonna get it, because then the 2, especially if like you're the third one in that group of 3,
Yeah.
they pretty much they're already resetting for the next person that's coming in, so you don't get it.
Pro
as bad.
tip.
Yeah.
They stagger them
All
sometimes.
right, Caleb,
Sometimes
if you're
they do.
listening,
Sometimes they
Yeah.
do.
you can be the first man in. We can. Ed, do you like horror movies in general? Have you seen Haunting of Hill House?
No, but I saw the trailer yesterday because Netflix made me,
Sure.
and it worked. I'm interested
good?
in seeing it. I didn't see any. You know, sometimes you watch a horror trailer and you'll see a couple bad performances in the trailer.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh. But I didn't see any bad performances in the trailer. There was a lot of stuff that they were doing that was like, oh, and this house is driving everybody crazy. I like that. That a family with a history of dysfunction, and you find out, or we explore the fact that it is ghost related. I think that's very interesting. I think that's the best horror. That's one of my favorite horror genres is, why can't we go outside? Because we're ghosts. You know what I mean?
Oh, you're talking about the.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that movie.
that movie.
See, I didn't say it, so it's not a spoiler
Yeah.
technically. You know what I mean? And like Hereditary. Hereditary.
Hereditary.
Yeah,
It's great.
Hereditary.
That is a family. It's very similar. It's a family
Exactly.
drama.
That stuff is
also
great.
got horror elements.
Very much so.
Ooh.
I'm gonna.
I just see a gaping hole, and my curiosity is escalating by the seconds.
Well, you saw the trailer, and now you're interested in seeing the movie. That's how it works.
I'm gonna watch my favorite underrated scary movie tonight, Richard Gere's The Mothman Prophecies, which is just a spooky movie.
How did that get in your pantheon, please?
We watched it in college once as like a big group, and it scared the poop out of everybody because it's kind of just a weird, creepy, slow burn. It's Laura Linney and Richard Gere actually putting in a good performance, and you go, oh, that's why Richard Gere is. And
Sure.
And yeah, it's a fun little scary movie that I don't think gets a whole lot of love. So I think that's going to be my pull for this evening. Yeah.
What are you watching? You're going to Horror Nights.
Yeah,
so
and then
you're,
we're gonna watch Hocus
You're
Pocus.
watching. Fun.
Good
I've
pick.
never seen.
Fun. So fun.
That'll be
Enjoy.
good.
Yeah.
It's really weird.
I grew up in the
really
South
weird.
in the 90s, which means large
watch
swaths
witch
of us could
things.
not watch things about witchcraft.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, you know what?
So-
It's funny because my Caleb, my boyfriend, he didn't grow up in the South, but he wasn't allowed
Mm-hmm.
to watch things that had witchcraft or anything of the sort. And he now makes monsters for a living.
There you
So
go.
that's what happens. People go the opposite. Your
We would
children
just
will
have
go
an
the
adult
opposite
check
way.
in every now and then and be like, "You're not playing that vampire role-playing game, are you?" And you'd be like, "No," and they'd be like, "All right."
I snuck over to my friend Lisa Araka's house for all of the things. So Lisa's parents showed her sister The Exorcist when Marie was 6. She's doing okay. And so we watched horror movies all the time, very, very young. That's also, I wasn't allowed to have sugar. So I would just go, and there was so much candy at Lisa's house. So I would just open like jars of hot chocolate, like the powdered hot chocolate, and just like,
Yeah.
just pass out with like a mustache of hot chocolate and candy and horror movies.
I wasn't
You know
allowed
what's
to.
watching
Later-
horror movies?
Yeah,
Later
my dad
we
had a
smoked
big
pot.
thing because when I was a kid, I really wanted to. I really liked cooking, and I really had a thing for food. My dad wouldn't let me go out and experience food in the human world, so there was a whole thing for that. So I would sneak out all the time and just like
Sneak that candy.
Yeah, sneak that candy, control a man's hair,
Sure.
make him cook for me, and
Mm-hmm.
yeah. So I hear you.
Yeah.
Pretty much the same stories.
Yeah, it was one of those things too where I was like,
Ed, you literally
Debbie
have to be
would
done.
pour.
Ed, have we
I'm
vamped enough?
vamping so much.
Yeah,
I'm
no.
about to tell the story of my orange soda, which was orange juice and seltzer water, and I was not fooled.
Yeah, no,
not
oh,
fooled.
no, I'm sorry. Yeah.
Thank
that's
you.
great. We were vamping? I didn't know. I
And
didn't
you
get
can
the-
do your George Lucas special edition on next week's.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
but
you
Just
have
take
to-
a look, turn it around.
You have to throw out your
It's
77
time.
version.
what do
Chefs, put your knives
It's ready.
down.
I need
It's
to
ready.
see Greer
Turn it
Han
around.
Ed.
I'm just getting
Ed.
his eyes
Ed.
out.
Ed,
Ed,
Okay, wait, no.
Ed.
Okay, it's Spider-Man.
Hey!
You got the webs. Yeah, get
Hey,
the.
look at that.
Yeah.
Got the webs.
Yeah.
I like that it's kind of Jack the Pumpkin King Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Just because
Yeah. I like
is
that.
That's wonderful, Ed.
Yeah.
Well done.
The judges enjoy it.
Well, I mean, I had enough deadly tools, and my girl friend Clee is watching. Look, I touched a knife. She thinks I hate knives.
Yeah.
And I do. This was harrowing for
You
me.
you certainly touched a knife.
Well, no, this isn't a knife, but that's a knife.
That's a knife. You're the anti-Joker.
Well, you can work on it throughout the week and then show it next week, and it'll look like Marvel Zombies Spider-Man by then.
That's true.
Yeah, definitely. The
Be good.
decomposition.
I am picking up notes of unresolved trauma from your pumpkin. And you guys let us know what you're getting from these pumpkins in the comments below. Everybody did a beautiful job today. Thank you very much. Happy Halloween, Mousy.
Happy Halloween.
I'm a pumpkin spice latte.
Pumpkin spice latte.
Are we gonna
lady.
pump movie fights?
Oh, yes, we are.
Roth, you gonna do your job over there anytime today?
Probably
Hey,
not.
with great pumpkin comes great responsibility.
We have Honest Trailers, commentaries, and movie fights tomorrow with Julia Prescott, Jay Washington versus Trisha Hirschberger. Yay!
Gonna be a
It's
good
gonna be a
show.
good
Good
show. Ed, what would you like to promote today?
Oh, I would just love for people to go to check out my podcast, Nerd Goat Podcast, on iTunes and Stitcher and all those things. It's just a deep dive into everybody's favorite fictional character. We have people come on, interesting people to come talk about who, if they had their last gasp and they had to tell somebody about a character, who would they say? So yeah, that's kind of and it's a deep dive, but not too deep. And it's gotten a lot of people. Some of the success stories about the podcast, people have read and bought hundreds of comic books and hundreds of movies and stuff because we talked about a character.
That's
and they
awesome.
got interested from listening to a Nerd Goat podcast. So
That's
please
awesome,
check that out. We're
That's
5-star rated.
awesome. That is very awesome. You know what's really funny about this entire conversation? We slip back into morning show mode to be like, oh, how interesting. I know about your podcast. It's amazing.
Oh, and also Ed Gray Destroys on Twitter. Sometimes I'll notice that if I say that on here, I'll get more followers.
You should do
That's how it
those
works, man.
things.
There you go.
Oh,
And
we
on
should
Instagram,
We
please.
should get more followers. We have lots. I want more followers. Billy the Business, you have a new podcast.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
sorry, Dan's staring daggers at me. He's like, say the words.
Say it,
what
Billy.
it's called.
Say it.
Hot takes with Billy
There we
Biz.
go.
New episode yesterday. Joe Starr and I waxed poetic about Speed Racer.
One of the best movies ever made.
Very well. I love Billy Business. Those are two great podcasts. Thank you for joining us today. We will see you tomorrow.
Jeez.
Happy Halloween.
Pumpkin.
One more.